Welcome to Little John's Yarns. Today we're going to learn how to do the zigzag double string stitch. This is a super easy stitch that looks more complicated than what it actually is. This entire pattern is worked in single crochets and chains, and it works up super quickly. I would recommend probably using this for a cowl, a scarf, or maybe even like a crochet top would be cute. So the materials that I'll be using for this pattern, I'm using Caron Simply Soft and a 5mm crochet hook. Whatever yarn and a cording hook will work perfectly. And if you would like to follow down to the free written pattern, that'll be linked down below. So let's hop directly into this tutorial. This pattern is worked in multiples of 6 plus 2 more. So multiples of 6 are numbers such as 30, 36, 42, and then you'll add 2 more stitches. I'm using 32 chains. So this pattern is very simple. We're basically doing single crochets and chain 5s and single crochets and chain 7 throughout this entire pattern. So it's not too complicated. To begin row number 1, we are going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet into that next stitch. And that is our pattern repeat all the way across. So we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet into that next stitch. So you can pause your video here and continue with that pattern repeat all the way across. We've made it to the end of row number 1, and this is what your work should look like. For row number 2, it's almost identical to this very last row. So we are going to chain 1, turn our work. Now we're going to single crochet into that very first single crochet right here. It's the very first stitch. Now chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip your chain 5 and single crochet into that next single crochet. I'll show you one more time. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip your chain 5 and single crochet into the next single crochet. And that is going to be your pattern repeat all the way across. So pause your video here, continue chaining 5 and single crocheting into the single crochets. We've made it to the end of row number 2, and this is what your work should look like. As you can see, this pattern is super repetitive and easy. So row number 3, we are going to chain 1 and turn your work. This is worked almost like this one. So we're going to single crochet into that first single crochet. This time we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to be the pattern repeat. You're going to skip this chain 5 and single crochet into that next single crochet. I'll show you one more time. We're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip that chain 5 and single crochet into that next single crochet. So pause your video here and continue with this pattern repeat all the way across. We've just completed row number 3, and this is what your work should look like. Now let's start row number 4. We are going to chain 1, turn our work. As usual, put that single crochet in that first stitch. And we're going to work it just like before. We're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip these chain stitches and single crochet into that next single crochet. And that is going to be our pattern repeat all the way across. So chain 7, skip 7, single crochet in the next. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at the other side. We've made it to the end of row number 4, and this is what your work should look like. You notice your chain 7 arches. We're going to be working underneath these arches up above. So let me show you with row number 5. For row 5, we are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn your work. This chain 5 counts as a double crochet and a chain 2. So we're going to begin with a single crochet. Remember I said we're going to group these two together? I want you to single crochet around these 2 chain 7 spaces. So go underneath both 2 chain 7 spaces to complete your single crochet. Now begins our pattern repeat. We are just going to, let me see how many chains. We are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once again, go underneath both these chain 7 spaces and single crochet. That is going to be your pattern repeat all the way across. So chain 5, single crochet underneath both chain spaces. Chain 5, single crochet under both chain spaces all the way across, and I'll meet you when you make it to your last chain 7 spaces because it's a little different, and I'll work it with you over here. We've almost made it to the end of row number 5, and I said I would work the last part with you. So I've already done my chain 5, and I'm going to single crochet under those last 2 chain 7 spaces. Now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2, and place a double crochet in that very last single crochet. And that is the end of row number 5. So we're going to chain 1 to start row number 6. We're going to single crochet into the top of that double crochet that we just made. Chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip this little chain space here, and now we're going to start our pattern repeat. We're just going to place single crochets in the top of each single crochet, and then we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the pattern repeat we all know and love. We're going to single crochet back into that next single crochet and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to repeat that over and over, single crocheting in the previous row, single crochet and chaining 5 all the way to the very end of the row, but we're going to work this last stitch right here with you because it's a little bit different. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at the very end of the row and we'll work it together. Alright, I'm almost at the end of row number 6, so I've already chained 5, and I'm going to single crochet into the last single crochet here, and we're left with this chain space. So what we're going to do, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and single crochet into that third chain. So count over 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into that third chain to finish off row number 6. Now we're going to start row number 7. We're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn your work. This chain 6 counts as a double crochet and a chain 3. We are going to skip that first little chain 2 space right here and start our favorite pattern repeat. We're going to single crochet into that next single crochet. But this time we're going to be chaining 7. So chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip these chains and single crochet into the next one. And you're going to repeat. I'm not going to show you one more time, but I think you can figure that out. So we're going to chain 7, skip these chains, and single crochet into that next single crochet. Chain 7, skip these chains, single crochet into the next single crochet. I want you to finish that pattern repeat all the way across until you make it to your last chain 2 space, and I'll work that with you. We've made it to the end of row number 7, and I finished my last chain 5, and I'm going to single crochet into this last stitch here, last single crochet here, and you'll be left with a chain 2 space. I want you to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I want you to double crochet into that last single crochet stitch. Double crochet. And that completes row number 7. So we're going to chain 1 to start row number 8. We're going to single crochet back into that same stitch chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip this chain 3 space here, and we're going to single crochet into that next single crochet stitch. And we're going to start our pattern repeat again that you know and love. I'll show you one time. We're going to chain 7 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we're going to single crochet, skip this chain, and single crochet into that next single crochet. And that is your pattern repeat all the way across. So we're going to chain 7, skip a chain, and single crochet into the next. Chain 7, skip this chain, and single crochet into next. Repeat that all the way to the end, and I'll work this last chain space with you. We're almost at the end of row number 8, and I just completed my last chain 7, and I'm going to single crochet into that next single crochet stitch right here. And you'll be left with a chain 6 space. I want you to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And I want you to single crochet into the 3rd stitch. 1, 2, let me see my stitches. 1, 2, 3. And that completes row number 8. So row number 9 is going to be our last part of our pattern repeat. So let me show you what everything looks like so far. You remember how we did the chain 7 spaces down here and we picked it up with a single crochet? We're going to be doing the same thing with these chain 7 spaces. We're going to be working single crochets underneath every single one of them with a chain 5. So let's start our very last row of our repeat. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Let's single crochet into that last stitch that we made and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's single crochet underneath both of those chain 7 spaces. Here's your work, and here's the chain 7 spaces. Go underneath both of them and complete your single crochet. I'll show you one more time. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Single crochet under both of these chain 7 spaces. Alright, that is your pattern repeat. You're going to work all the way across. So chain 5, single crochet under both chain 7 spaces until you come to your very last chain 7, and I'll work these last stitches with you. We're at the end of row number 9, and I just completed my last chain 5. I'm going to single crochet underneath those 2 chain 7 spaces, and now chain 5 one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet into that very last stitch. And if you would like to make this pattern even bigger, I just want you to go back and repeat rows 2 through 9 over and over to make it as big as you like. And don't worry, I'll leave a timestamp below on exactly where row 2 starts. If you enjoyed this stitch tutorial, please check out my other stitch tutorials, and I'll see you on the next video, guys. Bye.